Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter's Reality TV Recaps and Opinions. And today there will be no flipping of fans, there will be no, and that's my opinion because I do not feel that great. Today, we just got back from a week in San Diego, that's why I haven't been filming over here. We were out in San Diego with all of my husband's family for my brother-in-law's wedding. We had a fantastic time. Unfortunately, I got sick at the very, very end. I don't know what's going on. I started feeling better last night, and then I woke up today, and I was like, oh my god, I feel worse than I did yesterday. I have taken 2 COVID tests. I do not have COVID. I still have all of my smells, and I have all of my tastes, and I do not have a fever. I just feel really, really worn down. But I was like, okay, I don't think I can make any videos today. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna push through. I was feeling so much better late last night. I actually made like an almost hour-long video on my drama channel, my Peter Mon channel. So today I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a video and then we'll see how I feel. Make a video, see how I feel. And after I get done with each video, it takes me about a half an hour to kind of like recoup because I'm like, oh my god, I don't think I can make one more video. I'm like, make another video, make another video. And the reason why I really wanted to make a video over here today was because I literally have like 12 videos to catch up on. So let me tell you all the shows I have kept up. I don't even know how it happened. I was kind of worried being on vacation because I knew that we would be hanging out with our family a lot and stuff. And when everybody would go to bed, I would stay up like another hour or two and I would watch my shows. Or like on the plane, I downloaded a bunch of shows to watch. So I did keep up with almost all of the reality shows for this channel that I'm watching. So let me go in here and tell you all the shows I kept up on. I kept up with Big Brother, watched last night's episode. I kept up with Welcome to Plathville. I'm kind of, to be honest with you, I'm so bored of Welcome to Plathville this season. I just feel like I hadn't watched it in like a season and a half. I just feel like they're trying so hard to keep this show going. And I was actually talking to my best friend about it last night, my good Judy Tanya Jean, and I was asking her what she thinks. And she said, you know, it's really interesting because before I never really liked the dad, and now like this season I really like the dad. And I really do too. Like the dad seems like he's really, really trying to me. You know, like the parents are going through the divorce, the kids are moving all across the country. I feel like the younger kids are kind of forgotten in this whole grand scheme of things, you know. There was like a sit-down situation this last week where they sat down with the kids, and then the younger daughters or the younger sisters went to go visit Mariah, and so... And I keep on getting that girl's, why can't I not remember her name? The one Plath daughter, the one with the prayer room. I called her Lindsay in my last video, and then as soon as I got done filming it, I was like, that is not her name. It starts with an L. Lydia. I didn't even get to looking at that, but it's Lydia. So Lydia took the girls down to visit Mariah in Tampa, and that was kind of a very sweet scene and stuff. But like the dad went with Mariah to get a tattoo and all that kind of stuff, and I thought that was, I don't know, I thought that was like sweet, and he's like really trying. I don't know what's going on with the mom. I feel like she's going through something where she's like, okay, I got married, I raised my family, I raised my kids, and she says she goes by the house like once a week, and some of the kids are like, well, we stay with mom half the time, we stay with dad half the time, but she doesn't really seem to be part of the season whatsoever. It's really like the kids and the dad. I really think that she's going through something where she's, they show the next episode where she's like dating somebody. I think, and in all honesty, you know, I think in our society, like let's not get real serious with all this kind of stuff, but you know, in our society, I think that, you know, men can leave and go get their own apartment, and then the wife is supposed to stay at home when they go through a divorce and raise the kids and all that kind of stuff. I think that that's kind of the societal expectation, the double standard, whereas like if a woman leaves, a woman isn't, you know, allowed to, like, you know, start dating right away and discover herself and have her own apartments. Like, you know, then she's a bad mom. Then she's a bad wife, right? And I think it's interesting that in this situation, the dad is the one that chose to stay at the house, and the mom's the one that got her own apartment, and she's trying to figure out what she's going to do next and things like that. And I think it's actually an interesting example that they're showing on this show. I just think for me, I don't know, it's very interesting to me, like, that you know, they still talk about the religiosity a little bit and stuff, but at the same time, they are, like, they're trying to, like, it's almost like the parents are re-entering the real world as well, and so, like, then the kids all have this, like, you know, Mariah's getting baptized, and she's kind of finding her faith a little bit again. Why can I never remember Lydia? I mean, Lydia's never lost her faith with the father, you know, and, but the dad really never talks about it unless he's talking to, like, Mariah about her baptism and things like that. The mom is just kind of like, I feel like the mom, like, went through something where she, like, woke up. And it's interesting that, you know, you don't really see this a lot with, like, families that are on TV shows. I mean, you do kind of, like, with, you know, the Kate and John plus 8 or whatever that was, like, where, you know, one parent is just kind of like, I can't do this anymore kind of thing. But I feel like she's going through kind of some self-discovery kind of thing, and they're, like, actually showing it in real time. I just feel like they're trying so hard to keep this show alive because the show is obviously their bread and butter. I think it's interesting, like, they showed a scene in the previous week's episode where Isaac buys a plane. Isaac is 17 years old. I don't know many 17-year-olds that can buy a plane. So what that indicates is that these kids are making large sums of money, as they should, as being parts of this show, right? I mean, maybe not large sums of money, but they're making money. They should be the ones that are receiving that money, right? Not the parents, which I think is good that they're showing that. But he buys a plane at 17 years old, so it's like all of these family members are making large sums of money from being in this show. So, of course, they don't want to give up their bread and butter. I cannot even imagine, I was thinking about this week, like the production on this show. You know, there's one production team that has to follow Ethan and Olivia to Minnesota where they're moving. There's one that has to be in Tampa with Mariah, although Mariah supposedly moved to Los Angeles to be closer to Micah. Micah's in Los Angeles. The parents are in Georgia. So it's like there has to be like 4 or 5 production teams that are going around and following all these people, like in different states and things like that, for the show that isn't even really getting that good of ratings and isn't really even that great anyway. I have a feeling this will be the last season of Welcome to Plathville. It's really not that interesting. It kind of feels like they're kind of like angling it towards it being the last season. So maybe I was going to do this whole video about the Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, but maybe I'll do that later in the week and just kind of go through all these shows. So Survivor, I'm liking Survivor. I haven't watched it in years and years and years, so it's like real interesting for me to watch again. I'm loving it. I will say this last week, I really want Emily to go. Like, I feel like Emily, okay, if you're watching it, Emily is the one that's kind of been, like, very negative and very pessimistic and just whatever. I feel like they wanted to get her out so bad, but, like, Brandon was obviously the weak link on the team. So I understood why they got rid of Brandon. It totally made sense to me. But, like, now Emily is playing this, like, social game of, like, getting along with everybody. But I can't remember what the one person's name is, but they said something to the effect of they wouldn't be surprised if she, like, turned and, like, put a knife in their back. Like, I think that's who she is. I think she would get, like, 3 steps ahead, and then she'd be like, yeah, it was all, like, a game. Like, I was, like, totally just playing you guys because I didn't want to get voted out. Which, I mean, it's a smart game, but I just don't, there's something that's very unlikable about her to me. Amazing Race, I'm absolutely loving. I haven't watched it in so long, and I have to tell you that this week I actually watched Amazing Race before I watched Survivor, because I just was, like, I'm so taken with Amazing Race. I don't know what it is about it. I think that one of the things about it is that I love that, like, all the teams kind of get along with each other, and they're not like, and I know that later because I've seen other, you know, seasons, I know that later that there's more of, like, you know, the challenge aspect to it and whatever, but the fact that they're like indirectly kind of helping each other, encouraging each other, you know, I really like that whole aspect of it. I do, like, I need to look more into this show. I have to tell you, since I haven't watched any shows in a while, it's interesting because, like, I had to look up on Survivor what a shot in the dark was, because Emily gave her shot in the dark away, and so I had to, like, what's the other teammate? Is her name Sadaya? I can't remember, but I love her, by the way. I absolutely love her. I hope she wins the whole thing. But anyway, and that's the thing, is that there's, like, people on that team. I can never remember the teams. The teams are like Bella, Lulu. I think that's the Lulu team that keeps on losing, right? And Reba. I always think of Reba McEntire. But anyway, but I had to look up shot in the dark, what a shot in the dark was. I had to look up all these things. So the one thing I want to look up is, who comes up with these things on The Amazing Race? Because that whole deal where they had to, like, put the flower arrangements together. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? In the orchid field or whatever. And it was like 4-3-4, and they had to wrap the leaves around it. Like, I would lose that completely. I'd be still sitting out there today because I couldn't figure it out to save my life. So anyway, But I'm loving Survivor and Amazing Race. But I watch Amazing Race first and then Survivor because I like Amazing Race better. Then Love After Lockup. I actually thought I had 2 episodes. I am so into this show. I just have to tell you, thank you so much for recommending this show to me, whoever did. I mean, many people did, but I am like so into it right now. And I want to, there's like, now it's getting to like the meat and the potatoes of things. Like Andy and Brittany, it's so interesting how they're kind of painting this thing, that Andy is very controlling and all this kind of stuff. And it's like Brittany gets out of prison and she's like, oh yeah, I think Andy's going to be really good for me. He's going to give me structure. And then he's trying to give her structure. And she's like, no, I want to stay in this hotel room for the next 6 months to like hang out with my daughter, and I get it, right? Like, I mean, she's really messed up that relationship. But then he said, okay, well then I'll just go home. And she's mad that he doesn't want to just sit in this hotel room for the next month, right? Like, okay, a mature thing to do would be like, well, can you help me pay for this hotel room for the next 2 to 3 weeks? And then you go home, and then when I, you know, work out things with my daughter, then I'll come and meet up with you. But she wants that show, y'all, it's nuts, okay? It is nuts. But I'm eating it up, and I absolutely love it. And I love everybody on the show. Like, the whole show is, I mean, I don't love them, but I love watching everybody's, like, interactions. It's so good to me. Do you guys know some of these shows are like, okay, so, like, Big Brother's an hour, Welcome to Plathville's an hour, Survivor and Amazing Race are an hour and a half, Love After Lockup is 2 hours, you guys, okay? Golden Bachelor is an hour, it might be an hour and a half, but I think it's an hour. Bachelor in Paradise is 2 hours. You guys, some of these shows are so long. So, then I watched Golden Bachelor, well, I didn't watch them in this order, but I watched Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. Bachelor in Paradise I actually watched on the plane on the way home. So, Golden Bachelor, I love. I think it's very contrived. I don't know. On these kind of shows, one of the reasons why I never watch these dating shows is because the one that I want to get picked is never the one that wins. I don't know why. I really like Susan with the short, dark hair. She kind of reminds me of a friend of mine. So, I think that's why I picked her. But there's a lot, I mean, all of the women are really, really nice. And they all have these, like, incredible stories and whatever. I almost kind of think, like, I relate a lot to Gary, the Golden Bachelor, because he's very sensitive and very, like, you know, reminiscent of the past and things like that. It just kind of makes me sad. Like, there was this one scene where they had to all dress up, like, as covers of romance novels, and there was 3 women that got in wedding dresses, and one woman hadn't been in a wedding dress since she got married, like, 30 years before, and her husband had passed, and so she kind of, like, lost it and started crying, and he was very nice, and he talked to her and stuff, and I think he ended up giving her his first impression rose that night and whatever. And it was very sweet. But, I mean, you could tell, like, I don't know. And this is where I have a lot of friends that are that age. And it's like, as much as you want to encourage them into having other relationships at the same time, like, you could tell she hadn't worked through the pain of her husband's passing yet. And I don't know that I think that this show is maybe appropriate for her. And so that whole kind of situation kind of made me sad. I love that he gave her his first impression rose. And they have, like, this kind of shared moment where he shared some stuff with her about the passing of his wife and, like, walking by, like, a store where they're making, like, cinnamon stuff. And, like, it reminded him of his wife. Like, this show is so sweet, you guys. And this is the thing about it is, like, the women are either very sweet or very cutthroat, like they just want a husband. And those women can go, like, because I like the sweet ones. I like the really nice ones. So, but I'm loving it. Okay, Bachelor in Paradise. It was so funny because I was watching it. My husband was sitting next to me. I was watching on the plane on my iPad, and he kept on just, like, rolling his eyes at me, which is so funny because my husband loves these kind of shows. And so, we're actually going to watch House of Villains together. It starts this week. So, here's my thing. Like, the first week, I loved Bachelor in Paradise. This week, I don't know what I think. Okay, so let me get this straight, okay? You put, like, okay, there's 7 guys and 10 girls. So there's 17, and they keep on adding one every week. Like, whoever the person that pairs up with somebody, like, who their dream person is, shows up after they've paired up with somebody. So there's now, like, I think, like, 20 people or something. I don't know how many people there are, okay? But out of this group of 20 people, everybody thinks they're going to meet their life partner out of this 20 people. This is the thing is, okay? First of all, this Will guy has now kissed 3 people in 2 days, okay? He has had connections. They keep on using this word connection, and I'm like, it totally reminds me of misconnections from the Craigslist ads that I used to read. So, for those of you that don't watch my drama channel, I used to read the misconnections on the Craigslist ads and just laugh my ass off because I thought it was so funny. Every time these people say, like, Oh, Judy and I, we were hanging out in the hot tub, and, like, I felt her toe, and I really felt like I had a connection. You know this gal 3 hours, okay? You do not have a connection after 3 hours. You just don't, okay? And this Will guy, so the first girl that he likes, he done dissed her to go on a date with this other girl that he likes, okay? Then her man shows up, and now she got a connection with her man, so she done dissed him. And then this other woman, because they all just want roses or whatever, so if they stay on the island, because they just want a long trip, right? And these men are so foolish that they're like, oh my God, we have a connection. No, they just want a rose. They just want a fucking rose so that they can stay on the beach for another week and continue to get paid to be on this reality show. Y'all are stupid, okay? So this girl comes up to him. She's real sweet. It's Mercedes girl. And she's like, yeah, I've liked you from the very beginning and all this kind of stuff. He starts crying. He's like, oh my God, I should never have given these other two girls the time of day. It was about Mercedes all along. I have a real connection with her. At this point, I was like, I can't with this fucking show. Okay? I like literally, I can't. Okay? With all them connections, these misconnections, and y'all are figuring out your connections. It's too much. Okay? It is just absolutely too fucking much. So anyway, okay, then I watched Below Deck Mediterranean, loving this season, absolutely loving this season. There's a lot of drama on it already, I know, right? Okay, and then last night, Alex and I watched both the last 2 episodes of Real Housewives of New York. I will probably do a whole video of that this week leading up to the finale on Sunday. We also watched the first part of The Real Housewives of Orange County, the first part of the reunion. The second part is on Wednesday. We will probably, I will probably do a video talking about both parts of the reunion, and we haven't watched The Kardashians yet. So those are all my shows. Now, I want to tell you, there was a show, so I decided that I'm not going to watch Dancing with the Stars. I know Jamie Lynn Spears got kicked off. She deserved to. I thought she was foolish from the beginning. The whole show's foolish. I can't watch it. I can't dedicate 2 hours of my week, okay, to watching a show that I don't want to watch. The rest of these shows I'm living for. But listen, on my Peter Does Stuff channel, we're watching all of the Halloween movies right now, all 13 of them. We're watching 3 a week. And I got other shows to watch, like Invasion, and what are the other shows I watch? Invasion, American Horror Story, there's another show that I picked up. I cannot, and I got all kinds of Halloween movies like Hocus Pocus to watch this month. I cannot be watching that Dancing with the Stars, okay? That's probably the scariest movie out here, TV show out here, just because of their different costumes and stuff like that. So I decided I'm not going to watch that. The other show that I have on my list, hold on, that just started, is 90 Day Fiancé. So I started watching it last night, and I'm very confused. Is this like a whole new cast, or is this like an old cast? It's like a whole new cast, or is this like an old cast that's coming back? Because if it's an old cast that's coming back, I probably won't watch it. I'll probably try to go back and watch the 10 previous seasons, and then watch it next year like I'm going to do with Sister Wives. But if it's a brand new cast, will somebody let me know in the comments section, and then I'll watch it. So anyway, but that came out, I think it came out last night. I'm going to watch it. And then on the 12th, this week, I think Thursday, is when House of Villains comes out. And y'all, they already announced that Miami is coming back and Potomac is coming back. So I got to finish Miami. So, I already know about the last seasons of Miami. So, Beverly Hills is coming back. Miami's coming back. Potomac's coming back. You guys, it's going to be a crazy Housewife winter. Because I love talking about the Housewives more than anything. So, anyway, let me know what shows you're watching. Do you have any other reality recommendations for me? Put it in the comment section below. I will watch anything. I will try anything once or twice. I love you guys so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.